There we go. That's working properly now. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to Huts TV F1 Gaming League. I keep getting all the names mixed up. Huts F1 Gaming League. We're here at the Grand Prix of Great Britain, or British Grand Prix, whatever you want to call it, at the Silverstone circuit for what is... Which round is it? I don't remember which round. I don't remember the round. Round 231, I guess. Oh, that's not right. That's not right at all. Hang on, let me see if I can fix it. There we go. I think that's fixed. Okay, apparently turning push to talk off accidentally turned everything on. Whoops. I completely messed that up. That's my mistake. Sorry, everyone. Oh, that's embarrassing. Let's drink something to try and calm down a bit, because that is not something I... Hooray! I didn't realise that. I don't know, I messed things up. Wouldn't be me if I didn't mess things up every so often, but... Yeah, there we go. There we go. Fortunately, I haven't had any more messages, and don't see the little... speaker symbol in the bottom left, so it should be fine. Right. So unfortunately, Oscar has not been able to join us this evening. No idea why, but not really my business. He's indisposed for whatever reason. So it's just me again for tonight, maybe. Oh, look, it's British weather. And that's not looking very good on the ground there. The advertising on the grass is not... There we go, it looks better now. Bring up all that normal stuff. So, I would imagine this is going to be wet tyres. Yes, indeed it is, as Big Six is the first driver to set out, that we can tell. Nope, he was just a little behind. Yes, it's Big Jabber who will be first. Followed by Big Six and the Alpha Tauri, presumably of Biscuit. Yes, indeed. Wet quali should be a dry race with a chance of rain. Thank you for that information, Sherlock, our resident weather forecaster. I'm echoing, apparently. Hopefully I'm not echoing. In fact, I'm gonna just briefly check on the stream. I mean, it sounds okay, but I do seem a bit overpowered by the sound of the cars. So I'm going to find... It was Jabber who was first, so we'll briefly focus on Jabber whilst I try and see if there's any other way to turn all the volume down to 4. We can go lower if we need to. Anyway, still a little bit to go for Jabber to begin his flying lap. He's going round Stowe almost loses it on the exit into the Vale chicane, and then this part. This is Brooklyn, is it? I don't remember which part it is. I should know this stuff. I'm British. I should know the names of these corners. This one is Abbey. Used to be a left-hander, now it's a right-hander. And this is Village we're heading into. Or Farm. Village/farm. Going through onto the Wellington Straight, which is the first DRS zone if this was a dry session. It's called the Wellington Straight after the Vickers Wellington medium bomber of World War II, which I think used to take off from Silverstone when it was still an RAF airfield. Going through, I think that was Brooklands, then Luffield, and now this is Woodcut. Used to be a chicane there. How many years ago? 80s-ish, so about 40 or so years ago. Through Cops, the old turn 1, and now down towards the most iconic section of this track, the Maggots and Beckett's corners. Easily does it. Nicely on the power, and then onto the Hangar Straight, which is named after the hangars that are non-existent now. There are no more World War II hangars at Silverstone. Tell you what there is, though, that massive ugly wing structure that Bernie Ecclestone wanted, otherwise, we're not going to have F1 at Silverstone anymore, because I want this stupid little building. I mean, I guess F1 has kind of outgrown the original pit lane structure, as Jabber set the benchmark at 144.4 and then was immediately beaten by Big Six with a 143.0. Next across the line. Oh, there's a car going around in the background. That is Pookie or Lasso. It was Pookie spinning it just before he was to begin his... Oh, that's a crash from Angel. Final corner catching a few drivers out. Pookie and then Angel, who retires. 143.5 was the lap he got on the board at the end, but that's unfortunate. X across the line with a flying lap. Looks like it's going to be Reese in the Red Bull. Car number 78, I think that is. No idea, it's not showing me the side numbers. No, it's 79. So across the line he goes, and immediately goes P3. Will he get beaten? Well, Jordan manages to go P6. Actually, no, that wasn't Jordan, that's Shankstar who just began a lap. Shonen went P4, and then Goshan immediately goes into the 142s by about 0.6 of a second over Big Six. So that's the benchmark at the minute in this short quali session. Next across the line, it's going to be Alord. He's not going particularly quickly, only fast enough for P8. And then there's the Williams. Is that the Williams? Or is it an Alpine? I think that is... Yeah, that was probably Jabber beginning a new lap. Indeed, it was. Lagand is on an out lap. Sherlock's coming out of the pits. Daniel crosses the line to begin another lap. Groffel next across the line, 144.1, only enough for P11 at the minute. Shankstar going through Maggots and Beckett's as Jordan approaching the line. He's invalidated. Lasso will be across the line next, and he, with the two McLarens, currently the slowest cars on track. Pookie did have that spin, which prevents him from having a good start to the lap. I don't know what happened to Lasso. Tom goes P4 with a 143.1, and Bubbly in the other Aston Martin only managed a P14. Oh, lock up. Lock up for Shankstar as he comes into the pit lane. Goshen and Shonen on new flying laps. Yellow flag, that is the Red Bull up ahead going slowly? Must be. Bit of a messy Sector 1 here for Shonen as the Red Bull goes completely off the track. Shonen on the literal edge of control. What's his Sector 1 time going to be? It is about 1.5 tenths down. Meanwhile, Goshen has... yeah, he's aborted. So he's not going to be improving on this particular lap. Sherlock on his out lap. Shankstar hasn't set a lap time yet. Quack has just come... no, he hasn't come out of the pits. That's coming out of Cops, who's letting the Aston Martin by. Pookie, 4 tenths quicker, but still slowest. Going for it again, but he doesn't have a lot of battery to play with. Lasso is 2.8 seconds quicker and manages to go P9. Next up, TomTom has invalidated. His teammate Bubbly is about to go across the line. He has not improved. Big Six still in the pit lane. Quack going to start his flying lap at the minute, in a moment even. Sherlock, 33.7 through Sector 1. Through Luffield now. Is this Luffield? Don't blame me for not knowing all the different corner names. Oh, and he's invalidated, so that's not going... he's going to have to abort that one. Next, it's going across the line will be a Lord. He's invalidated though, and so he's going to come into the pits. Next, it will be Lagan. He has not invalidated. He's gone a tenth quicker through Sector 2, so this could be a nice little improvement. Currently running P16. Where can he put this car on the grid as Pookie has crashed? Lagan does improve, it's not enough. Oh, let's find that. Let's find that. Fusion going past the crash site of Pookie, who lost it on the exit of Stowe. That is a disaster, which means he's gonna, more than likely, start dead last in this Grand Prix. And if I'm remembering correctly, that's the second week in a row that that's happened. Or a very similar situation anyway. Not been Pookie's streak, has it? Biscuit going through Vale. He's... oh, controller, don't do that. He's had a very slow lap. 3:30 or something. I don't know what happened there. As we're getting a bit of lag spiking. Big Six set to the benchmark fairly early, and he still hasn't lost it. I wonder if we've got the order for the top 3 here. Lasso actually has gone up to P3 now. So he's had a massive improvement. Off screen too, I wasn't watching when that happened. Let's see what his Sector 2 time is as he comes out of Maggots and Beckett's. Doesn't look like he's pushing too much. And the car behind is catching. Yeah, 1.3 seconds down. That's not a push lap. Behind him is one of the 2 Alphas. I don't know if that's a Lord or Gruffle. It is Gruffle. And both of these cars coming into the pit lane anyway. Bubbly getting out of the way actually provided a bit of a slipstream to TomTom possibly. Let's go to TomTom. Don't know what his Sector 1 or 2 times were. Bubbly comes in. Pardon me. Bubbly comes into the pits as TomTom heads towards the line gonna cross it now as Big Six retires. At Maggots and Beckett's, and TomTom has gone fastest. And that's a very strange place to retire. So Big Six pushed down to P3. Which means, oh, controller, stop doing that! Pull it out and then push it back in, and now it's controller number 1 again. Honestly. Oh, Aylord having a bit of indecisiveness. Didn't know if he wanted to come into the pits or not and decided to stay out. Sherlock hasn't managed to get a clean lap in. He's got 4 minutes and 44 seconds to do it. Just needs to not go too wide. Meanwhile, Quack has not had a particularly good lap. He's 1.1 seconds slower than Pookie. Let's ride with Sherlock here for now as he goes through the first sector. Nicely does it through Village. Don't know why I'm so sniffly, this always happens. Onto the Wellington Straight, we've got a yellow flag. That's Daniel going slowly, but no issues. Sector 1 and a 32.0. That's not a bad time. Who was the other guy who was watching? I don't remember. As Shonen now puts in the fastest lap of the session, a 141.3. That's almost an entire second faster than TomTom has managed. Through Cops for Sherlock. Oh, get a little bit of a slide on the exit, but keeps it together. Through Maggots and Beckett's. Yellow flag says AlphaTauri going slowly, and Sherlock is losing it on the exit of Beckett's. Manages to keep it on the road, but that was very touch and go there for a second. Through Stowe, this is not going to be a particularly great lap time, and he's almost losing it again. His tyres might be cooking somehow. As long as he gets a lap time on the board, very close to the curbs. He's clearly not very happy here, but he does manage to go into the 144s. Only P17, but it's enough to not be last. So currently it's Quack who's slowest. I don't think this isn't a push lap, he's an out lap. Or cool down lap or whatever, but he's about to go for another attempt. AlphaTauri going through. That is, I think that's Fusion. Yes, indeed it was. Oh, I thought that was Biscuit going for a spin there. And Alpha going slowly. Lasso 5/10 up on his previous lap. Oh, 5/10 quicker through Sector 1 on this lap. He's going a bit wide through Brooklands. Shouldn't have hurt him too much there, but it might have cost him a tenth or two. This could be, he's currently a 143.0, 5/10 quicker. This could put him into the mid 142s. Could be enough for P3 if he can improve further. Oh, getting a bit squirrely on the exit of Cops. Going into Maggots and Beckett's now. Very nicely does it. Tricky corners at the best of times. And a flag for... Oh, Shankster has crashed as Goshan takes... Has he crashed actually? I don't see... No, he's just retired on the exit. I didn't catch what last week's sector time was. 8/10 up in Sector 2. This is now on course for a possible P3 here. Because at the minute, Goshan untouchable. In fact, Shonen also very fast. Lasso going across the line, 141.8. Yes, that is indeed enough for P3. And Big Six, who I thought was looking on course to start P2, is now only going to start P6 at best. Meanwhile, we've got some cars having all kinds of issues. Shonen going very wide at Stowe. Not sure what he's doing here. Maybe he's happy with the lap and he's gonna retire here? Huh. What's he doing? If it counts him as stopped on track, then what it's gonna do is disqualify him and he'll start dead last. Lagans. Yeah, you see, Shonen, what are you doing? So Shonen has just disqualified himself. He was going to start P2 and then he just decides to stop on the side of the track and get himself disqualified. Now, I don't know if that was a quali ban or what, and he just wanted to get some practice in, but I mean, why wouldn't you just finish the lap or pull into the pits if you didn't want to continue? Why would you pull up like that? Well, there's been an issue for Lagand as well. So what was looking like it could have been a very comfortable Alpine 1-2 is now, well, everyone else is filling in an Alpine sandwich. Goshen, currently provisional pole, can TomTom beat that time? 6.5 tenths of a second up through Sector 2. This could be a very nice time from TomTom. But it might only be enough to match Lasso, because he's currently a second off of Lasso as Bubbly manages to get in a very good time. P3 for Bubbly. More cars, Jordan goes P5, TomTom looks like the only man who could realistically challenge Goshen here. Is he gonna do it? No, not quite. Very close indeed, though. Let's look at that in terms of just 1.13 of a second. 1.5 tenths, give or take. That was very close, but in the end, no cigar. Goshen takes pole position for the British Grand Prix. And Shonen, who could have been P2 potentially. In fact, let's see what his lap time was. So it's DSQ, yes I know. Disqualified, view the lap times. His best lap was a 1:41.399. So with that time, okay, so he would have been P5 in the end. Actually, no, 1:41.399. No, P4. My mistake. Shonen would have been P4 with that lap time, and instead he threw it all away. If someone could tell me what he was thinking, I would love to know. I've got money on this. No, I don't. Don't gamble, folks. It's stupid. Oh, that's quickly into the race. Not seen that in a while. In fact, I don't think I've ever seen this happen before at all. Just goes straight into the race. There was like no loading screen at all, I think. What's that? I don't remember. Oh dear. Right, so 5 seconds until the formation lap begins. We're gonna be using the immersive formation lap rather than the broadcast one, so we're not going to have a proper starting camera for the Grand Prix proper. It's a bug that's been affecting the game since launch, and they still haven't fixed it. Meanwhile, let's take a look at the tyres, and unsurprisingly, the majority of drivers starting on mediums. Got a handful of drivers starting on other compounds. Bubbly, Big Six, and Angel will start on hards. Sherlock and Pookie will start on softs. Everyone else on the mediums. Goshan leading the pack away through the formation lap. Coming through Woodcut right now, whilst his teammate Shonen is just going through Brooklands. And to Maggots and Beckett's, the leading 4, creating a bit of a gap to P5, who's also got a bit of a gap to P6. That ground cover bug or whatever it is, that's really irritating. Pretty sure it didn't do that before. Right, so what kind of interesting start camera are we going to have? Oh, pardon me. That's that soft drink. Well, it doesn't look like it's going to be a terrible starting camera, but I really wish we had a view of the start lights. Shonen, the longest car on the grid, approaching the tail end of the pack now. Looks like Pookie has had a spin or something on the formation lap. Ooh, a couple of drivers failing to line up properly. There's Pookie lining up. That's an awful camera, so we have to start with this one. 5 lights coming on for the beginning of the Grand Prix. It's lights out and away we go. And Goshan gets a very nice start. TomTom has a very poor start. Oh, that's an awful camera. And let's up into P2 already. Lasso in the McLaren. What is going on with the cameras? Already challenging for P1. The 2 Aston Martins may have swapped places. Let's find out. Indeed they have. TomTom down to P4. Bubbly into P3. Oh, that is awful. What is going on with the ground? It's turned Aramco green, and Lero Fusion had a spin in the background. I really wish I had a better computer. I mean, this computer was good 4 years ago. Good, it was okay, and now it's decidedly low end. Unfortunately, I don't have the money for a new one, but so this is gonna have to do. Where are things? Lasso, less than 5/10 behind Goshan. TomTom has managed to get back past Bubbly. Let's now look at the position changes after lap 1. Pookie up 10 positions. What a lightning start. Shonen, in the meanwhile, who was also down. Oh, Pookie losing positions. What is going on with there? Ooh, not sure what has happened. Maybe he doesn't have the straight line speed, but he got overtaken by 4 cars in the space of a couple of seconds there. And now, I mean, maybe he wasn't actually up that high. Maybe it was just the game being weird. Oh, almost goes wheel banging with Jabber. Oh, and he does get wheel banged by Jabber. Oh, and he gets taken out by Lagand. So Jabber and Pookie coming together, and then Lagand making one hell of an opportunistic move. Was very lucky to not take Pookie's wheel off there, as Shankstar makes a pit stop for a brand new front wing. Lasso still clinging on to Goshan here. TomTom, man, it's gradually closing the gap. So he needs to get within that 1 second margin to try and get the DRS, and he has just about managed that. Bubbly, meanwhile, falling a bit behind. Jordan is getting past Reese here, who I think it looks like he's had a pretty good start. Reese, not sure he's the best driver around, and as you can see, he's absolutely mullered. Maggots and Beckett's, someone's called it Baggots and Beckett's. Yeah, that's not what it's called. That's Daniel now getting past the Red Bull, and we can see just why he's not the greatest driver out there. He's mullering some of these corners. Aylord now chasing him down. Lasso. Oh, Tom now gets the fastest lap of the Grand Prix. And the leading three gradually pulling away. With Bubbly a bit more distant, but still clinging on. And then it's a fightable gap to Jordan behind. What can Aylord do? Can he get past Reese? Oh no, not with driving like that! I don't know if that was collision between him and Sherlock, or if it was just a mistake from Aylord, but regardless, he has fallen down another position. Sherlock now, driver of the day at the minute, 9 positions up. Yellow flag again, that is the other AlphaTauri of Eric's Biscuit, now being overtaken by Pookie. So Sherlock, a second or so adrift of Reese, it looks like, actually. Oh no, I was about to say maybe slower on the straights to Reese, but no, he was gaining a little bit. Reese, Mullard cops, so yeah. For those of you who aren't aware, Mullard is basically a British way of saying ruined, did it badly. Oh, Angel. 3-second time penalty, he's messed up Maggots and Beckett's. Reese definitely not looking at... Okay, maybe he isn't as fast down the straights as Reese is. Jordan now under threat from Daniel, and the leading 3 trading fastest laps. It was Lasso for a second. Actually, Lasso, I wasn't paying attention. He's got up into the lead. I don't know when that happened. But yeah, he's now ahead of Goshan, and now trying to pull away, though Goshan has the DRS, as does TomTom, so they're not going to be able to fall that far behind unless they make a mistake. He's not going wide there, so that's not a mistake. Goshan driving very nicely indeed. All 3 drivers on identical tyre compounds, and the reason Bubbly is not quite as close as them, he's on hard tyres, so he doesn't quite have the same pace. Jordan on mediums, Daniel on mediums, Sherlock obviously on those softs. Probably why he's had such an excellent beginning to this race. Oh, and that's Reese touching the grass. He can't keep affording to do that. And Reese, the gap was 1.2 seconds at one point, but now Reese just losing so much pace compared to Sherlock. Oh, going a bit deep for the Ferrari. So that's not going to be too helpful for Sherlock's pace. Reese is within DRS range of the car in front. Oh, he was. But he's losing pace. Still losing pace. The car in front is Jordan now. Daniel has managed to get past. But Jordan does get the DRS now. Can he make the move up into Brooklyn / Luffield / Farm / whatever it's called? Not quite, though he's trying to make it move. Make it stick. Finish off my drink quickly. Leave Reese alone, you say? I'm just saying what I see. Reese, he hasn't wowed me. Maybe next week he'll pull something amazing out of his ass, but right now he turned a 1.2 second gap into a 6/10 gap. I mean, maybe part of that is Sherlock, but he's still losing that position, that time. Oh, Sherlock though. Turn on the telemetry. Yeah, Sherlock pushing really hard. Too hard, perhaps. He's run out of battery. So that's probably why he's finding it so difficult, and I can probably find a reason for Reese's lack of pace. He's not been using his energy quite as much. So maybe he's actually been quite smart. Maybe he is a better driver. We'll see. Yes, indeed. Sherlock has used up too much of his energy trying to get past. The leading three, not using much at all. Lasso and TomTom don't need to use too much of it as they have the DRS. Lasso, though, as he's leading this train, will need to use more of that ERS energy, as he won't be so fast down the straights, and that's Goshan getting pretty close. Can the Alpine get past down the hangar straight? He'll have the DRS in less than 100 meters time. He has the DRS now. He's not using his energy. Doesn't need to. Maybe he's biding his time. Oh, it looked like he was perhaps going to make the move there, but not on this occasion. Getting very, very close between these guys. Goshan trying to take back that lead from the McLaren. Got to hold off for a little while longer. TomTom putting in the fastest lap of the Grand Prix once again. And we've got a car into the pit lane. That's Sherlock. His soft tyres have died. Well, maybe not died, but they're certainly not going to be feeling quite so hot anymore. Jordan, to his credit, keeping pace with Daniel. He did lose the position, but now he's managing to keep pace with the Ferrari. That is just what he needs to do. Keep within that 1 second margin. Maybe you can take the position back later. He's definitely pushing. Definitely trying to, get that position back. It's not quite like real life where if you get past, you're probably not going to get that position back. Ow. Ooh, now let's look at the hangar straight. Once again, bit of energy usage from Goshan. He's going for it. Uses the energy to slingshot past the McLaren. And that is Goshan back up into P1. And TomTom still just a bystander. Very close race between these three. Reese, now that Sherlock has disappeared, is still not out of the woods just yet. Oh, Alod, though, having a bit of a wobble. Oh, there's a car gone round. That's Jordan. The Haas makes a mistake on the exit of whatever it's called, as Pookie gets a 5-second penalty for speeding in the pit lane. That's not what he wants to do. His soft tyres have gone off the cliff too. Jordan goes from P6 down to P12. And that's his challenge for that P5 spot. Down the drain. Pookie, I think Pookie's having to replace his front wing too. That took quite a while. Interval. Ooh. What happened there? Reese has managed to pull ahead quite some distance of Alord, who has now been passed by Shonin. Shonin up 13 positions. Started dead last after he managed to get himself disqualified in qualifying. And he's just absolutely... Oh, Alord going very wide through Maggots and Beckett's. What's the word? He's pulling the cats out of the hat's ass. I don't know what it's called. The rabbit's ass? I don't know. Let's try and not... too many of the euphemisms. Is that a euphemism? I don't know. But Shonin, definitely very fast driver. Oh, and Reese has made a mistake through Vale, and that's now put Shonin in prime position to get the move done on Reese, but he actually backed off a little bit. Maybe he just didn't feel quite so comfortable to make the move there. But he should be able to make the move into Luffield. Down the hangar straight, taking a slightly wider line through Village. He has the energy, he's going to have the DRS, and he's using that energy. He wants to get past the Red Bull very quickly indeed, but no, he's not able to make the move just yet. Oh, there's been a spin on the start-finish line. I think that's Sherlock. Yes, indeed it was. So the two soft runners have... no, it wasn't the soft... It wasn't Pookie who spun there. Pookie did spin there, but in qualifying, it was actually Jordan who spun. Oh!
Okay. I didn't notice.
Goshan has... I don't know what happened to Goshan, but maybe he made a mistake. He's now in P3. I think he must have made some kind of mistake, because TomTom is now leading, and it's Lasso in P2. Meanwhile, there's been a spin. I think that's Jabba out of Cops. So I'm going to need to see a replay of that, unfortunately. I wasn't
Really paying attention.
proving me wrong. I mean, oh. Now what? Where's Shonen? Okay, Shonen has pit. Okay. Gruffle P16. Shagstar just dead last after having to pit on lap 1. Bubbly now gonna try and make a move on Goshan for P3. He's always been the somewhat distant P4, but now that Goshan has possibly made that mistake, Bubbly stands a good chance of getting past the Alpine here. That Jabba making that pit stop. Maybe he picked up some damage. No, just putting on some new tyres. Bubbly has the DRS. That should allow him to close the gap a little bit more. Meanwhile, Lasso got very close to TomTom there. Wasn't quite able to make it stick, as Shagstar has now got past the Jabba. So Jabba's pit stop didn't lasted maybe a bit too long for his liking. And Shagstar up into P19. Not that it really matters. P19, well, might as well be P20 or P11. It doesn't matter. You don't get points for those positions. A-Lord, 9/10 behind Reese. A-Lord has been a rather mistake-prone, and well, Reese has made some mistakes too. But A-Lords have been somewhat more... what's the word? Severe. Going slideways, whilst Reese has just managed to go wide a couple of times. Going wide here too. Not quite the racing line, that one. Switching of positions as Gruffle has come into the pits. Coming into the pits now. But yeah, nicely ahead of Shagstar there. Can A-Lord make the move on Reese here? The gap was 9/10, and that gap has fallen quite substantially. Though he didn't look quite so happy through Beckett's and Beckett's. He's using his energy. Got very close to Reese's diffuser there, but in the end, no cigar. His energy below 10%, and he decides to come into the pits. That now unleashes Quack to potentially make the move on Reese. Bubbly, meanwhile, his assault on Goshan has failed, and he is now fallen outside of that second margin. Meanwhile, Lasso has picked up a penalty. 3 seconds. It looks like he was going just a bit too ham through some of these corners. So now he has to try and get past TomTom and then make a 3-second gap. Meanwhile, I think it's looking a little bit cloudy. Indeed, it is looking cloudy. So they did say there was a chance of rain, but at the minute, Well, at the minute it's still just cloudy. I'll keep an eye on the skies. Oh, both of the leaders coming into the pits as Jabba is retiring as well. Maybe he has some terminal damage. That means Bubbly will take the lead. Inherit the lead. Goshan also into the pits. Daniel will inherit P2. But currently it is TomTom in effective P1. Oh, and the McLaren mechanic just got wiped out by Goshan there. But don't worry, it's just a game. Now, is Jabba's car going to prove troublesome for Lasso there? It shouldn't be too much of an issue. Yeah, though he was a bit slow off the line, he didn't know what was going to happen. If he was going to ghost or not, but that's definitely hurt Lasso there, and he's now 2 seconds adrift of TomTom. Goshan, meanwhile, 1.4 seconds adrift of Lasso. Reese has also made his pit stop, so he's now on hard tyres. And he came out just in front of A-Lord, but A-Lord is going to try and make the move up the inside. Reese having a dreadful exit out of turn 351, and A-Lord now nicely up into P10. That's effectively P6? I think P6, yes. Don't make any more mistakes, mate. In fact, we'll see how things go. Bubbly staying out, Daniel coming in. What will Quack do? Quack coming in. Angel staying out. Big Six coming in. No, he's not going to come in. He'd be double stacking. TomTom obviously stays out as he did just pit, and effectively leading the race. Lagan into the pits, and A-Lord has dropped Reese by 1.7 seconds in 3/4 of a lap. So very nicely done. Jordan, meanwhile, right on the tail of Lateral Fusion. Has Jordan made a pit stop? Yes, he has. On hard tyres, right behind the AlphaTauri, trying to get back into the points after that unfortunate spin from earlier, and Lagan pitting has promoted him up a position. Ooh, Pookie and Sherlock having a bit of a scrap for P14. The two soft runners, well, they started on softs. I don't think that was the best choice, because now look where they are. They had amazing pace to start with, but not so amazing pace to the end of that stint, and Pookie breezes past the Ferrari. Nicely does it. Oh no, Pookie's a messed up! So I'm not sure what happened there, and Pookie immediately relinquished the position back to Sherlock. Decided, no, I don't like this position. Here, you can have it back. Bubbly, still in the lead. Angel, still out on those old tyres, as TomTom has just put in the fastest lap of the Grand Prix, 1:30.664. 18... Ooh, I wonder if Bubbly is waiting on a potential safety car. Because if there is a safety car, well, he inherits the lead, effectively. That would be very nicely into the lead for him. Oh, and speaking of that, of a potential safety car, we do have yellow flags in Sector 1, but nothing really came of it. That's Shonen having a battle with Reese. He pit slightly earlier than the Red Bull. About 3 laps earlier, going by the age of his tyres. Now he's got to try and get back past the Red Bull. And Reese went deep. So that's Reese's challenge. Well, that wasn't really much of a challenge for Shonen at all, actually. just breezed past. Meanwhile, Lasso and Big Six. Big Six, I think he's on these old tyres, so he just let these two past, and Goshan has managed to catch up to Lasso there. Very nicely indeed. So he was 3 seconds off before the pit stops. Lasso, though, was held up by Big Six, I imagine. Enough to the point that Goshan should be able to make the move. Bubbly has finally come into the pits for new medium tyres. They did start on the hards. They should be fairly quick after the pit stops end. Where is Bubbly now? He is just a few seconds behind, 3 seconds behind Goshan here. Should theoretically be a bit faster as he's on fresher, softer rubber. But Goshan, we know, is a pretty quick driver. And he needs to use all of his skills to get past Lasso here. Here's the gap. Within 0.3 of a second, he's guaranteed to get DRS. Down the hanger straight, a bit of dirty air through Maggots and Beckett's. And he's using a bit of the energy, the overtake energy, but not a huge amount. He's gonna try and make the move purely with DRS. No, he just caught up. Decided not to make the move in the end. Ooh, Angel finally comes into the pits. Tom sets the fastest lap of the Grand Prix again. Bubbly, though, I reckon could make a challenge for that fastest lap. Yellow flag, Sector 3, there's been a spin. That's Shonin. What has happened to Shonin? He's spun on the exit of Stowe. That is quite unfortunate. And he's going to come into the pits. I reckon he's about to press that big old retire button. Almost certainly he's going to retire. That's his race over. So Tom leads by about 3.5 seconds, but the two behind seem to be catching a little bit. Oh, where's the gap just staying?
Kind of status quo.
Ooh. Reese down to P16. I don't know what happened there. Still losing a mountain of pace. You want to tell me he's still a good driver? Okay. Goshan looked like he was going to make the move again. Had to hold off again. The gap behind was 3 seconds. It's fallen to 2.3. So Bubbly is catching. Goshan needs to try and get past Lasso, who has just put in the fastest lap of the Grand Prix, but then Bubbly instantly blitzes that. Let's take a look at what they were. 130.6. No, what? Yeah, 130.606, but then Bubbly goes 0.5 quicker. Bubbly absolutely flying on those medium tyres, and suddenly this has now turned into a four-horse race for P1 here. Tom currently has a fairly comfortable lead, but that has shrunk by about 3.5 tenths. Lasso and Goshan fighting here, the gap growing and shrinking and growing with every passing lap. It's been a spin for Groffelbauer on the exit of Stowe once again. Actually, Shonen has not retired. He put on some soft tyres. Don't know why he'd do that, but guess he wants to try and get some pace. Gap between Lasso and Goshan was about 0.6 of a second. It's going to shrink as he has the DRS, but he's not going to be able to make the move. Still, Bubbly, his pace has fallen off a bit. It's about 2 seconds, but he wasn't as lightning quick as before. In fact, he's run out of energy. He went for the fastest lap. Oh, and the gap has updated. So it wasn't correct, perhaps. Yes. So, Bubbly, closer to Goshan. Maybe Goshan lost some time? Possibly, but Bubbly's using up too much energy. I mean, I don't know what's going on with the gaps here. Goshan was 1.1 seconds behind, and now suddenly he's half a second behind. I don't know what's going on. The game's being a bit silly. And the gap between TomTom and Lasso is still about 4 seconds. I think it's grown, actually. TomTom does have the clear air. He doesn't really have to worry too much about the cars behind, as they are embroiled in this fight for second position here. And Lasso going extremely slowly through Maggots and Beckett's. Goshan taking a bit too much curb on the inside. He has the energy. He has the DRS. He's going to be able to make the move. He knows this is his only chance. And he makes it stick. Into Stowe. The two cars switch positions. And now Lasso is chasing down Goshan. But Bubbly is chasing all three of them down. Both of them, rather, as I guess TomTom is just checking out into the distance. Oh, that was very close. Bubbly get a bit of snap oversteer on the exit of the final corner. Hasn't hurt him too much. He will still get the DRS down the Wellington Straight. Oh, there he was. Yeah, that's just the gaps being silly again. Using up a lot of his energy. Too much energy. He probably wishes his... Oh, yeah, he did lose the DRS. But yeah, probably wishes that he had twice as many batteries. As he's just... Look at that. His lights blinking. Less than 10%. Oh! And there's been another spin at the final corner for Biscuit. Shangstar and Reese and Groffle and Shonen dead last. 1 minute 19 behind the leader. He will more than likely be the first driver to be lapped here, though he is on these fresh soft tyres. He did just put in the fastest lap of the Grand Prix. So technically, I guess he's probably pulling away from the leaders. Indeed, he puts in the fastest lap yet again. Jordan, meanwhile, has got back up into the points. Nicely does it, and that's Alord going a bit slowly. That's Angel right behind. Can Angel make the move? No, he's not quite as fast down this straight as Alord's Alfa Romeo. Ooh, Pookie losing some positions down the hangar straight too. Oh, and Jordan going a bit too deep. Look at this. Front row seat to a climactic battle for P7 here. And that's Alord still just ahead of the Williams. This is where all the action is at. Oh, look who spun. It's Lagand actually. Comes into the pits for new tyres. He does have a bit of time. Or maybe he did, actually. Angel. Ooh, who's that ahead? Alord, he's right behind Quack. So this is why Alord's defense is able to hold up so well. He's getting DRS off of the Mercedes in front. But at some point, he may well get past. There's been another spin. That's Groffle, I think. More than likely. This fight for what in the end was actually P6. Flag that's Lagand retiring. Alord. Look at that speed he gains, and he is using his energy to pull away from Angel here. Oh, that was very close from Jordan. Almost goes wheel banging. Oh, there he does wheel bang. Jordan goes round. That's twice in one race that he spins and loses points. And he just gets passed by Jordan, and now he's going to pit for soft tyres. Couldn't hurt, I guess. Meanwhile, there's another fight for what is now P10. Sherlock being hounded by Pookie and Big Six. One Ferrari. Oh, that's Pookie. Thought he was gonna go spearing off at Abby. Didn't work out like that in the end. Oh no! Okay, TomTom. He needed that gap. He has picked up a 3-second time penalty, but he is about 4.9 seconds ahead of Goshan. So he's still fine. That's essentially a 1.9 second gap to Goshan. Can Goshan close that gap? Well, there's about 4 laps to go. Maybe he can. The minute. Oh, I don't know which battle to look at. I mean, there's still the leaders fighting. Oh, this is getting really close for Angel. This is Angel about to make the move on Alord. And yes, he's managing to go side by side, but Alord is using up all of his energy to try and stay ahead. Getting very, very close here. And I think that is Angel ahead. There's been a spin for Shonen at Luffy. Oh, who got past there? And Shonen has retired for some reason. Doesn't have damage. Pookie's retired too. Oh no! Pookie! He's crashed in exactly the same place as he did in qualifying, and that's his race over. That is embarrassing. Oh no. Biscuit making a free pit stop. He does have the time. Whoa. Getting close. Angel and Alord still. I was about to say neck and neck. Oh, safety car.
Okay, I didn't
notice that. That's not going to help too much because TomTom makes a pit stop. Goshan stays out. Lasso makes a pit stop, as does Bubbly. The safety car is not going to last very long at all. Normally, you don't get a safety car this late in a Grand Prix. Goshan knows this. TomTom doesn't have a pit. What? He must. Did TomTom have a 5-second penalty? That's not right. I don't know what happened there. Lasso had one too. Well, they've gone on to soft tyres, but they've lost a lot of time to Goshan. Oh, this could, though, end up being a Charles Leclerc situation, because Goshan, on those old, hard tyres, if these guys catch up in time for the safety car to end, that's Goshan done. Everyone making pit stops. Goshan may have made a tactical error here, but we need to see how things play out. The guys behind have to catch up, but they're coming through Brooklands and Luffield right now. Goshan might be in trouble here, but we need to see when the safety car ends. Everyone else is trying to follow a delta. And there are these lapped cars as well. Will they get out of the way? I think Goshan has messed up here. It hasn't worked out for Goshan. He's trying to do the Charles Leclerc thing. There we go. The safety car already coming in, even though the field is not bunched up. Normally the race would end under these conditions, but now look at this. TomTom and Goshan are separated by a couple of lapped cars, though, and maybe that can help Goshan here. But they are on soft tyres as well. Shankstar and Groffle and Reese too could prove to be the rolling roadblock that Goshan needs. The race gets back underway for 2 final laps. And now it's on for TomTom to make up these 2.3 seconds thanks to these lapped cars, Groffel has just got a 3-second time penalty. I think he'll be able to get through them. Yes, quite literally goes through the lapped cars. He has 2 seconds to catch up to Goshan here. Has Goshan... I'm not sure what's gonna happen here. This could be the masterclass from Goshan. Maybe he... This is gonna be one hell of a final 2 laps. TomTom will have the grip. As Jordan has crashed. No, he hasn't crashed. He's just retired. Who's that in front? That is a McLaren? No, that's a Red Bull. That's Reese. There's not going to be any DRS either. I think this is in the bag for Goshan. TomTom may have the grip, but it's not going to be enough. And with those lapped cars in the way, TomTom had to keep to the delta, so the gap is still falling. It's not over yet, but I don't think TomTom can do it. 128.6, fastest lap of the Grand Prix for TomTom. He is closing so quickly, but I don't think he can do it. They're just dumping the energy. Goshan has more energy to play with. He's gonna have the traction. He'll have the grip through the corners. That's a Lasso having a bit of a mistake through Village. Goshan trying to break the toe. TomTom catching up. We're gonna have 2 amazing final laps in 2 weeks. He's gonna be very close here. We've got a yellow flag. Alort has retired. It's one very disappointing end of the weekend. TomTom now within 4/10 of Goshan. What can he do it? It's getting so close. He will have the grip. He just needs to use his energy, but he doesn't have as much. Goshan will have more. He's dumping his energy. The gap is growing. 3/10. But can TomTom do it through the corners? No, he's not going to be able to do it. He doesn't have the energy to play with. Goshan has played them all. He is going to come round the final 2 corners and snatches the victory from under TomTom's nose. Bubbly actually, because TomTom had the 3-second penalty, that means Bubbly and TomTom and Lasso finished behind Bubbly. So in the end, TomTom, I guess, was screwed either way with that 3-second penalty. I forgot that he had that. Lasso had the penalty too. Oh dear. Did they need to make that pit stop? No.
Probably not.
Oh dear. I'm not sure who should be embarrassed yet there. I mean, at least Goshan has managed to convert his pole into a victory, but the records will say that he started first and finished first, but what happened in between, that's where it all happened. That's where all the action happened. It wasn't quite as simple as just finishing where he started. He had to do a lot in between.
Oh, and just in time for the stream to go possibly belly up. Let's see. No, it's fine. It's all fine. Meanwhile, who was that? Checo Perez picks up a 5-second penalty, but I don't think there's only one 5-second penalty. So Checo, his win is not in doubt. Hooray. Nice to see Checo winning.
There we go. The top 10 of the Grand Prix. Goshan wins. Bubbly comes P2. Tom Tom and Lasso finish P3 and P4 after they get 3-second penalties. Daniel P5. Angel P6. Lero Fusion P7. A nice drive from Angel, by the way, up to from 14th. Big Six P8. Sherlock up from P17 to finish P9. And Quack goes from P13 to P10. Picks up the final point. And Reese finishes P13 after
Starting 6th? Yeah. Ooh. Did
I forgot to turn the Streamlabs onto performance mode,
but it didn't hurt too much.
so everything's fine. Didn't see any, what's it called? Controller tries to commit suicide. What's it called? Didn't see any lag or stutter like I used to have.
Everything is awesome. Sort of.
Is that the right image? No, we'll just do that. Oh, stream will not start soon. It's over. But there we go. Decent race in the end. Goshan converts his pole, but it wasn't quite as simple as that. He was in P2 and P3 for quite a large portion of that. And in the end, it came down to Bubbly not getting past him. And he decided to stay out, and he had the protection of back markers that really helped him out. So there we go, everyone. That is the British? Yes, that's what you... That's what happens when you have a race on a pile of... a dirt pile or something, I don't know. Let's just not make any jokes, because I'm rubbish at that. But yes, there we go. It's a British Grand Prix. Next week, we should have Oscar back, hopefully, but we'll see. League Hub, what's the next race? Do we have a calendar at all? Next week, it's going to be Singapore. So, we'll see you then. Until next time, have a good one, and yeah, good night.